the first topic that we are going to discuss is security challenges and their management in border areas. Okay, border management. So tell me this, try to answer this question. Terrorists are entering into India. Terrorists are coming into India. Why couldn't our Indian army or border guarding forces, why they couldn't able to stop them? That means our border guarding forces are not working well. They are coming from Maftis. Oh. Does that means our border guarding forces are not efficient to stop them? Efficient may not be sufficient. Okay, nice wordplay. What do you think? What is the extent of our border? How many kilometers? How many kilometers is our border? That's all we are going to see in this PPT. Okay. Why it is very difficult to prevent terrorists or any other foreigners coming into India? Why it is very difficult? What is making our border guarding very difficult for us especially Indians? That's we are going to see. Okay. So border management. See, for every PPT that I'm going to give, you will have this slide. 1 second, I try to change the color. Now, could you be able to see this better? See, for every PPT that I will give, you will have this slide. It's like an index. It will tell what you are going to read in this PPT. So, what we are going to read in this PPT is what is border management. As I said, it is very important to read the definitions of any word, any vocabulary, because you can write it as an introduction to your answers. If you don't know anything, you can write it, definition as an introduction, right? India and its bordering countries. What are the bordering countries of India? Huh? What? Pakistan, Nepal, China, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. Sri Lanka is not a land bordering country. Countries which share our borders with our land. There is a sea between India and Sri Lanka. That's it. Okay, that we are going to see. India and its bordering countries. Responsibility of border management. Whose responsibility is border management? Which ministry? Which ministry's responsibility is border management? Huh? Home Affairs? Sure. How can you know that? Correct. Ministry of Home Affairs has the Department of Border Management. This is how it can help. Okay, border management is the responsibility of Ministry of Home Affairs. India's border extent and nature. What is the extent of India's border? What is the nature of it? The geography of it. This is where I will show how you can link one subject with another subject. Who guards our borders? Who guards our borders? Huh? Army. Okay. Border security force. Okay. That we will see. Okay. Specific internal security threats with land border countries. Every country is different. Every neighboring country is different. We have different security threats depending upon the country. The kind of threats that we have with Pakistan is different from the kind of threats that we have with Nepal and Bhutan. Correct? So we have specific internal security threats. Next, government measures for land border management. What are the measures that were taken by the government for proper land border management? Challenges and way forward. So this is all about land border management. Land border management. Okay. Here we will talk about coastal borders. Does India have coastal borders? Yes. What is the extent of coastal areas? Which state has the longest coastline? Which state? There are many states in India. Which state has the longest coastline? Not Andhra Pradesh. Tamil Nadu. They may ask this kind of questions in your prelims. I'll tell. Okay. Because they have asked one question. I've said this many times. Which is the easternmost state of our India? Arunachal Pradesh. Easternmost state. These kind of questions they may ask in prelims. That's why you should know which state has the longest coastline, shortest coastline, which union territory, which shares the longest border, which country shares the longest border, which foreign country shares longest border with India. Nepal. Which foreign country shares longest borders with India? Sure about it? How can you know? That we are going to see. Okay. So coastal borders. Coastal borders are also very important for us because if you remember 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, terrorists came through ocean, not through our land borders. They came through ocean, they entered the Mumbai, and they have attacked the Taj Hotel and many other places. So that's why we should have proper surveillance and proper management of coastal areas also, right? So this is what we are going to discuss in this PPT or in this topic called border management. Okay, now get into this. What is border management? So border management division of Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA in the sense Ministry of Home Affairs, defines border management as securing countries' borders against hostile interests. There are many people and organizations which have hostile interests and putting in place systems that are able to prohibit such elements while facilitating legitimate trade and commerce. Now my question is, to secure the borders, what I will do is, I will completely block all my borders. Terrorists are entering into India. Terrorists are entering into India because there are some gaps in our border management. What I will do is, I'll stop all the people. I don't want people from Indian side or other foreign country side should enter India. I'll completely block all the borders. Can this be advantage? No. Why? Trade and commerce should happen. Trade should happen. That's why, besides curtailing this kind of hostile interests, we should be able to facilitate legitimate trade and commerce also. Trade in the sense they will smuggle drugs also, but we cannot call as trade. If it happens legitimately, under the supervision of officers or through checkposts, then it is permissible. Trade and commerce. Understanding this, border management in the sense protecting our country's borders against hostile interests while facilitating legitimate trade and commerce also. Okay, it's not like we should close all our borders so that nobody can enter. That is not possible because many of our famous are Hindu temples located in Nepal. We have to cross the borders. Pakistan has an important place called Kartarpur Corridor. Kartarpur Corridor for Sikh. This is a famous religious place for Sikh. This is present in Pakistan. So for religious purposes, for trade purposes, we have to cross the borders. Then how can I know whether the person is terrorist or legitimate person who wants to cross the borders? Passport? How can I know? How can I know whether the person who is crossing the borders is legitimate or illegitimate? Huh? Security check. There are many other ways by which people can cross the borders. Okay, but we will discuss. See, there is a difference between border security and border. Have you understood the definition? So, border management in the sense, while protecting our country from hostile interests, we should also facilitate trade and commerce. There is a difference between border security and border management. Border security means I'll try to secure my country's borders. Border security means just that, securing my country borders. Border management is a broad term. It includes improving the infrastructure in border areas. I have to improve the infrastructure in border areas. Facilitating safe and secure movement of authorized people and goods and prevention of illegal immigration. I have to allow safe and secure movement of authorized people, not unauthorized people, authorized people. And I have to prevent this illegal immigration also. Without proper documents, people should not come to India. I have to prevent that. That is also a part of border management. Next, guarding the borders and developing border areas. I have to develop border areas also. Why I have to develop border areas? Strong security. I can develop the security forces itself. What is the need to develop border areas? Try to think about that. We will discuss about this. Execute the customs function so as to collect customs duty. See, customs duty will be imposed on exports and imports. Whether you will import or export, some taxes will be imposed on that. Customs duty. If there is authorized movement of goods and services, you can impose customs duty. If there is smuggling, can you impose customs duty on it? If there is smuggling in the borders, can you impose customs duty? Yes or no? No, because smuggling happens not under my supervision. I don't know whether the smuggling is happening or not, right? So that's why I cannot impose customs duty on it. What is the disadvantage with this? Customs duty వేయకపోతే disadvantage ఏమైనా ఉందా? Income will get decreased. Current affairs classes I have said how government will get money, revenue through taxes. The tax money, if they got insufficient, they cannot able to spend on government schemes. That's why it is very important to impose customs duty also. The trade happens, legitimate trade happens, I can put customs duty also. Okay, next, prevention of smuggling and infiltration. I have to stop the smuggling and infiltration. Infiltration in the sense, people will enter your country only with the sole intention of destruction. They will try to damage your country. Immigration is different. They will try to enter for better quality of life, for employment opportunities, and many other things. Infiltration is different. Next, prevention of human and wildlife trafficking. Trafficking in the sense, what is meant by trafficking? What is meant by this word called trafficking? Kidnaps. Buying and selling of people. Trafficking. Okay. Human trafficking and wildlife trafficking. Wildlife also will get trafficked like star tortoise, red sandalwood. This kind of smuggling we have to stop. Why we have to stop this wildlife trafficking? To what happens with extinction of animals? Okay. Any other answers? No? Correct. Food chain will get affected. Food chain, like one animal depends on others for its food. Suppose this animal A depends on B. Suppose this animal got extincted. What happens is this will also get extincted. That's how you will lose all the animal kingdom, animal life. That's why we have to protect our diversity, animal diversity. So all this include border management, not just protecting our borders. There are so many things that we have to do, which is called as border management. Have you understood that? Definition have you understood? Protecting our country's borders, besides facilitating legitimate trade and commerce. Border security is different when compared to border management. Border management also includes border security. Border management also includes border security. Besides that, there are so many things that we have to do in border management. Clear with this? Next. India and its bordering countries. So the number of countries which are bordering the India. So we have 15,100 kilometers of land borders. How many kilometers? 15,100. Is it easy to got this lengthy border? Not that easy, right? And 7,500 kilometers of coastline, including island territories. What is meant by this island? Land surrounded by four sides of water is called island. What if it got surrounded by three sides? Peninsula. India is a peninsula. Three sides, it will get covered by water. Okay. So our borders are very long. 15,100 kilometers of land borders, 7,500 kilometers of coastal borders. That's why it is very difficult for us to guard our borders. Okay, next, countries with decreasing border areas. Bangladesh, see, this is the mnemonic. Mnemonic in the sense, mnemonic. By just remembering this, you can remember all this. Shortcut. BCP and MBA. B means Bangladesh, China, Pakistan, Nepal, Myanmar, Bhutan, Afghanistan. So the country which shares, the foreign country which shares longest border with India is Bangladesh. So BCPN, MBA. Okay, this is the order to which you should remember this. This is the decreasing order. The foreign country which shares shortest boundary with India is Afghanistan. As simple as that. Because they may ask this kind of questions also. That's why I have given this. So responsibility of border management. Whose responsibility is border management? Department of Border Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, devote focused attention to management of international land and coastal borders. We have this Department of Border Management. We have discussed. So Department of Border Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, devote focused attention to both management of land and coastal borders, strengthening of border policing and guarding. They will also strengthen border policing and guarding. Creation of infrastructure like roads, fencing, flood lighting, water outlets. Then it is also responsible for implementation of border area development program. We will see this in government measures for proper land border management. So this Department of Border Management, Ministry of Home Affairs is responsible for border management. Clear with this? Next, nature of our borders. Now try to understand the geography, how it will be linked to internal security. Quite complex. Almost all extreme geographical features in various borders like glaciers, mountains, mighty rivers, swampy marshes, fertile lands, deserts, evergreen forests. The geography in our borders is quite complex and diverse. With China border, we have Himalayas, glaciers. With Pakistan, we have deserts. With Bangladesh, we have fertile lands. With Myanmar, those countries, we have evergreen forests. See the variety of geography that we have. Each geography has its own problems. Glaciers, you should be able to bear very cold temperatures. Deserts, very hot temperatures. The kind of dress you will wear in glaciers will be different when compared to deserts. Desert, you can see to a very long distance who is coming and who is going. It is very easy for us because everything is flat. Can you able to do the same thing in evergreen forest? Do you know this word called camouflage? What is meant by this camouflage? Camouflage. Huh? Not duplicating. It's like becoming. Let me tell you an example. Triple R movie though. Last climax fight though. You can see the Britishers are ready to shoot the Bean character. They almost become like forests. You couldn't able to recognize whether they are trees or people. That is nothing but camouflage. Could you able to get that reference? They'll become a part of forest so that you could not see. This can happen in evergreen forests. So deserts, swampy marshes, fertile lands, mountains. In our India-China borders, our security forces should be able to climb the mountains. They should know how to climb a mountain because there are mountains there, glaciers. So every border, every geography has its own requirements, has its own advantages and disadvantages. Now, could you able to understand how geography is related to internal security? Based on your geography will definitely affect your internal security. You might have heard about this. Trump, US President Donald Trump, he wants to create a wall in the US-Mexico border to stop illegal migrants coming into US. Can you able to build a wall? Does your geography supports that? No, clear no. Even could you able to fence in Himalayas? How can you fence a mountain? Yeah? How can you fence a river? There are many rivers which are crossing our borders. How can you fence a river? Not possible. This is what it leads to porosity. Porous nature of our borders. Porous nature means whatever you will try to do, you cannot able to fence everything. Somewhere there will be some gaps. Understanding the point? So this is how it is important to know nature of our borders. Your geography will affect your internal security. Next, general border security issues. We have many different issues with different countries, like terrorism with Pakistan. With Pakistan, we have the issue of terrorism. We don't have the issue of terrorism with Nepal and Bhutan. But I have given here general border security issues. What are the issues that we have with all the countries? Is porous nature of our borders. As I said, borders themselves are very porous. They themselves facilitate people to cross the borders. People can easily swim in rivers and can cross the border. Can you stop every time? No. As simple as that. Okay, so porous nature of our borders, disputed and unsettled borders. We have disputes with many foreign countries, like Pakistan. Have you heard about this word called POK? What is meant by POK? Pakistan occupied Kashmir. That means Pakistan have occupied some part of our Kashmir. They are saying that India is saying that it is India's territory, but Pakistan is not accepting to give it to us. So there are many disputes regarding the borders itself. When you know to which extent our border is, I can able to protect it. But I don't know where my border is. This is the problem with China also. China says up to here my border, but India is saying my border is there. There is difference of perception regarding China and India regarding the borders. We don't know where our border is. Doesn't this cause a problem in border management? This is where the fight happened between the Indian soldiers and Chinese soldiers in the Galwan Valley. China is claiming entire Arunachal Pradesh, saying that entire Arunachal Pradesh belongs to China. So these kind of disputes makes our border guarding very difficult. Okay, next, infiltration. Infiltration is very common. People will cross our borders to make some destruction in India. Terrorism, radicalization. Have you understood radicalization? They will brainwash either the people present outside our borders or within our borders. They will brainwash in such a way that they will attack the India itself. Radicalization, illegal immigration, human and wildlife trafficking, separatist movements aided by the external powers. Many of the people in Kashmir, they don't want to be part with India. They want a separate Kashmir. There are many people. Now some external forces, especially Pakistan, they will help these people to make sure that Pakistan, India does not have Kashmir. Understanding the point? So separatist movements aided by the external force. Separatist movements in the sense this. Have you heard about this Khalistan movement? Khalistan. Some people in Punjab, they want separate region for Punjab, Sikh people. Khalistan. You might have heard recently protests in UK, US, Australia. They are protesting in foreign countries also. Separatist tendencies. They want Punjab to be not to be a part of India. They want separate land for Sikhs. So these are getting aided by the external powers. Next, smuggling of drugs, arms and ammunition, cattle, fake Indian currency notes. Pakistan is one of the country which not only print its own money, it also prints Indian money also. Fake Indian currency. Now, what is the disadvantage of having fake Indian currency? Inflation. Now, what is meant by inflation? Huh? Sorry? Value of rupee falls down. Okay. Inflation is correct. With fake Indian currency notes, there will be inflation. Inflation in the sense, rise in price of goods and services. Like earlier, some 10 years back or 20 years back, if you take 100 rupee note and went to a market, you can get so many vegetables and fruits. But now, you couldn't able to get even 1 kg of tomato. Right? Tomato prices are almost 150 or somewhere around. This is where the value of money decreases. Value of money decreasing is called nothing but inflation. When there is so much amount of money in your economy, all people will have money. There will be more demand. There is more demand. There will be rise in prices. To tell you more simply, in COVID times, the prices of lemon increased. Lemons, oranges, the prices of these have increased. Why? There is more demand because people thought that vitamin C can give us some immunity against the COVID virus. That's why there is more demand and there will be price rise. So when there is more money in your economy, it will leads to inflation. Clear with this? Next, basis to anti-Indian elements. As I said, some of the countries they will provide safe houses or shelter for terrorists, insurgent groups. Like Pakistan is providing terrorists shelter for terrorists. So basis to anti-Indian elements. So these are the general border security issues. Have you understood this? Next. Who guards our national land borders? Not army. Okay, army will not guard our borders. During wartime, armed forces like army, navy, and air force guard our borders. Whereas during peacetime, we have this central armed police forces, CAPF. Okay, CAPF, Central Armed Police Forces. These are all the CAPF, Central Armed Police Forces. Like we have the one border guarding principle. On one borders, there will be one border guarding force. Like in Bangladesh and Pakistan border, we have this BSF, Border Security Force. But I've listened about this, like examinations on BSF, exams. Okay, BSF, Border Security Force. China border, Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force. This police force are mountaineers. They are experts in mountaineering, ski diving. They are experts. Why? Why they have to be experts in mountaineering? Mountaineering you can understand. No, they can climb the mountains very easily. Why this force needs to be mountaineers? Huh? We have Himalayas in our China borders. No, that's why they needs to be mountaineers. They know ski diving, skiing in the sense, you know, the skiing. కాళ్ళకి ప్యాడ్స్ పెట్టుకొని దే విల్ correct, skiing. They are experts in that. Otherwise, how can you guard borders in glaciers? Okay, next, Nepal and Bhutan borders, Sashastra Seema Bal, SSB. Myanmar borders, we have Assam Rifles. So one border guarding force. Why? Okay. So what happens? Correct. See, when I have only one border, that border guarding force can be more effective in dealing with the kind of things that were being emerged in that border. Like ITBP, as I said, they are expert mountaineers. But you cannot employ same BSF in India-China border because they don't know how to climb the mountains. But they are very good in deserts. Pakistan, we have deserts, Rajasthan, Gujarat borders. They can survive in very hot climates, but they cannot survive in cold. They're not used to that. And one more thing is, army have strict rules, strict organization. The commander says we should fight, they will fight. Okay, so every border guarding force has one commander. If there are two or three border guarding forces in one borders, it will lead to conflict. Like, whose command I have to follow? There will be some operational issues. But if there is only one border guarding force, it will be very easy for us. One will take the decision and we will follow. Understanding this? So that's why we have one border and one border guarding force. Next, guarding our coastal borders. Whose responsibility is guarding our coastal borders? So Indian Navy is responsible for overall maritime security, which includes coastal security and offshore security. We have coast, offshore security also. Offshore means, in geography we learn this. It's not like till coast, only till coast is our borders. We have some up to some area it is our borders, like territorial zone, contiguous zone, exclusive economic zone. You can get this in geography. Okay, just try to remember this. Let me tell you this. So this is my land borders, like coastal borders, territorial borders, contiguous zone, exclusive economic zone, almost till 24 nautical miles beyond my borders. Up to here I can control. Okay, so Indian Navy is responsible for overall maritime security, both coastal and offshore security. Onshore, offshore. Can you understand this? Onshore means on the shore. Offshore means off the shore. away from the shore. Offshore oil, you'll get oil from the offshore. Okay. So offshore security. We have this also, Indian Coast Guard, ICG. Indian Coast Guard has been additionally designated as authority responsible for coastal security in India's territorial waters. This is what I have been saying. Territorial waters, very close to our borders, including areas to be patrolled by. We have coastal police also. So three security setup: coastal police, ICG, Indian Coast Guard, then comes Navy. Three security layers. Somewhere if Navy misses, at least they have to get caught by ICG, Indian Coast Guard. If Indian Coast Guard also misses, at least coastal police has to get caught up. Clear with this? Next, border management requires coordinated and concerted action of administrative, diplomatic, security, intelligence, legal, regulatory, and economic agencies of the country to secure its frontiers and to serve best interests. For border security, you need only the help of military forces. That's enough. Whereas for border management, you need the coordinated and concerted action of all these forces. How? Why do we need this administrative or diplomatic people in the border management? Or why do I need this intelligence or legal people in border management? Have you understood the question? For borders, I said there is a difference between border security and border management. Border security just means guarding our borders. Border management is a broad term. Besides guarding our borders, there are many things we have to do. Creation of infrastructure, okay, prevention of smuggling, developing of border areas, many things. Now my question is, why do we need the coordinated action of all these agencies for border management? Hmm? Effective functioning of the system. Okay. Why do I need this diplomatic people in my border management? Prevent war. Okay. Why do I need this regulatory or legal agencies? Legal or illegal? Okay. Okay. See, I need the help of all these agencies because the military people does not know the visa rules. Do they know about the visa rules? Who is permitted, who is not permitted? They are not experts in that. They are experts in guarding our borders. So we need diplomatic people or administrative people, legal or regulatory people, or finance departments, economic agents. How much amount of customs duty has to be imposed? The security persons know this. Different goods have different customs taxes, right? So we need the help of economic agencies also. Definitely, we need the intelligence agencies. They will try to collect information from the border areas. Some tip-offs can be given, like there is a smuggling of drugs in this area. There can be a smuggling. So our border security forces will get alerted and they will go there. Intelligence. We need intelligence also. Regulatory departments. Can you tell any regulatory departments? They will try to regulate the things. Huh? RBI, yes, you can say it is a regulatory. See, what these regulatory agencies will do is they will try to regulate the business, like Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. FSI. It will try to regulate the food environment, food ecosystem, whether the food is good or not, nutritious or not. Are there any uh, dangerous elements in it? They will try to regulate. Okay. Similarly, we should have regulatory department in our border management because we should be able to tell, suppose if food grains were being imported into India from Pakistan or Nepal or Bhutan, how can we know whether they are dangerous microorganisms in that? There should be some authority to check that. Does diplomatic agencies know that? No. Regulatory agencies, we need the help of regulatory agencies. So that's why border management requires the coordinated and concerted action of various authorities. Next, approach and practice of border management varies from one border to another based on the security perceptions and relationship with neighboring countries. Our approach towards each border varies based on security perceptions. In which border I have to be more careful? Pakistan and China borders. Nepal and Bhutan, not that required. Because there was no such threat. So based on the security perceptions, your border management varies. And even your relationship with the neighboring countries. My relationship with Nepal and Bhutan is good now. I can talk to those countries. I can help. I can able to solve the problems if any. Same cannot happen with Pakistan. Same cannot happen with China. So my approach and practice of border management varies from one border to another based on security perceptions and neighboring countries. Have you understood this? I think I have not explained this. See, even this Indian Army is guarding land borders along the LOC. LOC in the sense line of control. We have with China. China, we have LOC. We will try to discuss about this LOC, LAC, line of actual control, and all those things. Line of control. Here, Army also got the borders because it is the contentious border. Even LAC, line of actual control. Here also, Army will got the borders along with BSF, border security forces. Only in these two places, Indian Army will also guard borders along with Central Armed Police Forces or border guarding forces. Here with this, we will stop here today. Okay, tomorrow we will discuss regarding the specific threats. Threats that we have with Bangladesh, threats that we have with China, threats that we have with Pakistan. Every borders, every neighboring countries, we are going to discuss. Okay, till here we have discussed general border security issues. So far what we discussed is for a recap. Okay. So we have discussed what is border management. What is border management? What is the definition of border management? Protecting our borders. Also facilitating trade and commerce. That is nothing but border management. Border management is a broad term when compared to border security. It includes many things like creation of infrastructure, protecting our borders, prevention of smuggling, infiltration, developing border areas, many things. Okay. So what are the bordering countries that India have? How many countries? What is that mnemonic I have said? Ah, ah. BC, PN, MBA. Tell the countries' names. This is in decreasing order. Afghanistan shares shortest boundary with India. Bangladesh shares longest boundary with India. Okay. So whose responsibility is border management? Ministry of Home Affairs, not Ministry of Defense. Okay. So India's border extent and nature. What is the extent of India's land borders? 15,100 kilometers, 7,500 kilometers of coastal borders. Now, what is the nature of Indian borders? Geography. Talk about geography. Diverse climate. Diverse climate and diverse geographies. Deserts, mountains, evergreen forests, fertile lands, rivers, swampy marshes. What is meant by these swampy marshes? You might have seen about this. Swampy marshes. Swampy marshes in the sense, Buddha Nelu, the land which will be covered with water throughout the year. Like we have Sundarbans or mangroves, where the trees will be covered with water through almost entire year. Okay, in that kind of environment, trees will grow. Mangroves, Sundarbans areas, especially with Bangladesh border. Even in these kind of areas, they have to share. I will try to share some videos regarding this, regarding BSF, regarding ITVP, so that you can see actually how border will look like. You can understand the difficulty of our border guarding forces. It's not that easy to guard our borders. Some people will just very generally says that our border guarding forces are not working. If they are working, how terrorists are entering. Now we can understand. It's not that easy to guard our borders. The kind of geography that we have, the kind of difficulties they will face. You can understand in that movie called Sitaraman, how they will cook food in the beginning scenes. They will dig deep into the snow. From there, they will cook the food. You can understand, no, glaciers, it is very difficult even to breathe, but they have to survive there. Sometimes a temperature will go negatives, -40, -50. So it is not that easy to guard our borders. So close, open window, right? Okay. This is the problem if I open window. Okay, no problem. Anyway, cash complete. Who guards our borders? Central Armed Police Forces. Who guards our India Nepal borders? This is important. Who guards our India Pakistan borders? India China Indo Tibetan Border Police. Indo Nepal SSB Sashastra Seema Bal. Assam, Assam rifles for which borders? Which borders? Myanmar borders. Myanmar borders. Okay. Then comes India and Bangladesh border. BSF. One border guarding force will guard two borders like Pakistan and Bangladesh. Both the borders, because they are almost opposite to each other. Here is Pakistan, here is Bangladesh. BSF will guard both the borders. Okay. So till we have discussed here, right? Who guards our borders? Then from tomorrow we will see the specific internal security threats. In every country, what are the specific internal security threats? Okay. Do you have any doubts? Okay. We'll end the class here. Tomorrow we'll continue.